it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. Ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. Talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it.
It's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. Ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. Talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Head to Head with Brian Parker. You damn right I'm here. And we are here for another week of talk with my favorite panel and all of you guys out there. Thanks a lot. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't add, Lori. You got to tell me. I didn't add Instagram on. So we are streaming. Oh, let me hit this go live button. We are streaming live and direct on Facebook Live, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram. Now I see us up on Instagram. Hello, Instagram. As well as Amazon Fire and Roku TV. So wherever you're tuning in from, we definitely thank you. If you haven't already, please go to our YouTube page. We are on our drive to 10,000 followers. We've been running a campaign for the last couple of days, and we've actually picked up quite a few. So to those out there that have already subscribed to the YouTube channel, thank you very much. We appreciate it. But don't conk out on me yet, because we still need more. Continue to share with your friends, get them to subscribe, as it helps grow us in the YouTube world as well, so that more and more people can organically find the channel as they are on YouTube searching. It's the way of the world, y'all. Everybody's getting away from cable. They're finding different ways of consuming content and information, whether it's news, whether it's entertainment, all those kind of things. So people are not using the same platforms as they once did. So we definitely want to make sure that we are present where people are, so that they have an opportunity to be able to join into the conversation as well. So thank you guys for doing that. We definitely appreciate it. And looks like Amazon and Roku is up as well. Looking really, really good. So we are growing the channel. Again, Amazon and Roku TV have over 150 million users each. So we are definitely trying to expand our imprint internationally as well. And we are seeing more and more viewers come in from places outside of the United States. So I'm definitely proud to see that happen. Well, without further ado, let me welcome my panel in. We've got Lori Parker. How you doing, Lori?
Doing great. Happy Thursday and happy the start of baseball. Yay!
Oh my goodness. You ready for some baseball, huh? All right.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, when I go to New York, I might take you with me, and then we'll go catch the Yankees game. How's that sound?
I'm surprised you haven't gotten the alerts about the Yankees playing. Come on now.
Oh, I'm excited. I've already bet on it tonight.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that too. But I mean, it was an easy parlay. It just said Aaron Judge had to hit one time, and then one other guy had to hit once. It was an easy parlay. I mean, it was like giving me money. But anyway, we'll talk about that in a second. And let's also welcome in Mr. TNTBS CJ Jones, the host of Elephant Exposed, as seen on YouTube, where Mr. CJ Jones unpacks and peels back the layers of things going on with regards to police culture and those types of things. Whether the police are wrong or whether sometimes assailants are wrong in the way that they've come into contact with police. It can go either way. So breaks it down, makes it simple, and makes it plain. So never expect what he may say or what take he may give on it, because there may be some underlying things that we don't initially see at the very beginning, and he wants to expose those elements for you. Also, CJ is a local Charlotte area DJ, so you can always look him up too for any kind of entertainment events that you will have at any kind of venue. He can bring some entertainment to you as well. So welcome, Mr. CJ. How you doing?
Man, I appreciate the flowers, bro. I'm telling you, that's awesome. As a matter of fact, I wanted to say congratulations to you and what you're doing with your platform. Because I do want to say this, since you've given me the mic, I want to thank my brand new subscribers and followers. I literally over the past couple of days looked at my analytics. Sometimes my analytics scares me
Hmm.
because um, when you're brand new to the game, it can be very discouraging.
Hmm.
And I can truly say the numbers that I saw has truly humbled me. So I would like to say thank you, and thank you. And I want to say I will contribute some of that growth to you because I'm pretty sure if they Googled CJ Jones Elephant Exposed or backwards, it doesn't matter which way you do it, all lowercase letters all together, you're going to see this face. And then they see this face there, they see this face here.
Yep.
So I want to say that's how we help each other grow. So
Absolutely.
thank you. So thank you guys.
Absolutely.
And if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you like, who is that guy down below just always talking, da 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 da? Well, I have my own platform, like my brother just plugged me, and I did expand my focus point just a little bit. I
Hmm.
went to the entertainment side of the house, but still keeping it within the parameters of law enforcement to say, okay, even though society wants something so bad to happen to these celebrities and athletes, legally you have to stay focused.
Okay. Okay. It's still connected. And I'm glad you say that because a lot of times people will think that things are kind of start at one place and end at another, when in reality, the way that life is, one thing kind of bleeds into another thing. So things aren't as clear cut as far as category and lanes and things like that. Where you would say, okay, well, this is just strictly entertainment. Yeah, there's a whole lot of legal stuff in entertainment, whether it's Britney Spears' conservatorship, or I've seen you post about R. Kelly. Now we have these things going on with Diddy. A lot of these things spill over from the realm of entertainment into other aspects. Just like how when we talk about politics and things like that, some things that you would not necessarily think is a political thing, a lot of things are political, from the prices that you pay at the gas pump to the water that you drink, the air you breathe, to how many miles per gallon your car can get, and all those types of things are a result of politics. And not understanding or not being involved means a lot of times we give away our voices, because we think that, oh, well, that's just this and that's just that. But no,
Mhm.
we're involved in those things on a daily basis. And unfortunately, a lot of times our politicians want us to kind of be that kind of hands off and don't worry about those things, and keep our heads so far in the weeds that we don't really see a lot of the things going on around us. So hopefully we can expose a lot of those things and pull it back as well, so that we can dive in and make sure that we understand what's going on around us.
Yes, sir.
The other thing too, guys, you are part of the show. We appreciate you again for joining wherever you're tuning in, whether you're watching us live or whether you're watching us on playback. We really appreciate it. We really, really do. Empower TV has been around for 4 years now. We're constantly growing, trying to make things better and things like that. You guys know me. We talk about anything, and we get into it. We don't sit there and sugarcoat anything. We just say it for whatever it is. Well, Lori might sugarcoat a little bit, but that's okay. Um, Anywho's, but we also want to be able to give back, and one of the ways that we give back is that if you are a small business owner, if you are a vendor, any goods or services that you provide, if you're an event planner, if there are events going on in the area, please reach out to us and let us advertise. I do great copies. Send me the copy. We'll post your event. We'll post your goods. We definitely want to celebrate you, your business, and we want other people out there to know what it is that you have. One of our copies comes from yours truly, Jermaine Parker Realty, which I am an agent of. And just like that, let's show them this clip, Lori, of Jermaine Parker Realty. Let's get Buying a home is one of the biggest decisions that you'll make. Here at Jermaine Parker Realty, we're here to help you navigate through that process. We know that a home is more than just a place to live. It creates memories. Here at Jermaine Parker Realty, we're here to help. Give us a call and let us get started on your journey. Wow. That guy's really, really good. I tell you.
Excellent.
He's a good narrator, Lori. What do you think? So, and,
Yes, absolutely.
one more copy, and this one I'm really proud of doing. Us partnering with Shanine and Sheldon Muldrow over their children's book. It is called Sawyer Kid Lawyer. We posted this promo on YouTube, and it's gotten a lot of likes and views and everything else. So it's actually gone pretty well. So for right now, this will be our last copy until a little later on this in the show. We'll have one or two more. But let's do Sawyer Kid Lawyer. Introducing Sawyer Kid Lawyer, Teacher versus Nap Time. A great book that will help your little one with reading, writing, and spelling. Coming from the authors, Shanine and Sheldon Muldrow. Please check this book out and support. Thank you so much. There we go. I tell you that guy, the voice, he's something else.
I like the music in the background too.
Yeah.
That was very nice. That was very nice.
We try to pick things that are a little, kind of go with the copy.
Yeah, to go with the theme of the business. Very smart. Very smart.
Yeah. So if you guys have anything out there that you would like us to advertise, please reach out. When you're a small business, one of the biggest daunting tasks is being able to, well, it can be taunting too, I guess.
Yeah, that's
flip. But when you're a small business, one of the biggest issues that you'll find is being able to market and be able to get exposure and things like that. And a lot of times, even what you said earlier, CJ, about analytics and stuff like that, when you first start out, it can be very, very discouraging because you don't really get traction and see the pickup that you would like. But it's a big world out there, and sometimes it just takes a while to catch on. And this is why, and Lori and I were having this conversation, or I was having it with Lori, because we attended a bridal expo this past Sunday at the Charlotte Expo Center, where it was thousands and thousands of people there. Oh my God, it was so many people. Brides, grooms, a lot of grooms showed up willingly or unwillingly. I can't really tell. Some of them did look like hostages. I did tell some of them to run, but I really didn't I, Lori?
Yes, you did.
So get the hell out of here, man. You don't want to get married to this hag. But anyway, rag. I mean, nice young lady. But sorry. And I haven't even started drinking. That's the funny part. But yeah, so but it was so many people at the bridal expo, and it was so funny because one woman came up to us, and she was like, "Why would realtors be at a wedding expo?" And then you could literally see the lights come on right there as she asked the question. Then she started answering the question. She says, "Oh, brides and grooms may have their own houses and need to sell them so they can have their own forever house, or maybe they're renting and they want to buy something." And she just started coming up with one scenario after another, and I'm just like, yes. And she's like, "Oh, okay, that makes total sense." So she convinced herself literally right in front of our table and booth why realtors would be at a bridal expo, but it was, oh my God, it was 5 hours. It was so many people, so many different vendors doing so many different things there. Literally in front of us, there was a cosmetic surgery booth. So people, people doing cosmetic surgery. Now, the twist on this was they were doing augmentations apparently. So they had a cornhole uh, set up, and instead of sacks that you throw into the hole, they literally had implants,
The silicone bags.
bro.
Yes.
And now, CJ, like I told Lori, at best I am a child.
Oh yeah, I
Had
definitely would have done it.
had I went over there,
Yeah,
I wouldn't have done the cornhole. I would have asked for two of them, and then I would have motorboated the hell out of them. That's just me. That's just me. The whole
how
time.
many? How many CCs?
They look like some B's or C's. I'm telling you, they were
Oh, I see.
full.
No, I was just trying to make my
No,
sister
no, it's
smile.
fine. It's
That's
fine
all.
because Brian actually was like, well, because again, with the traffic that was coming up to our booth and our table, he
Mm-hmm.
kind of looked over and was like, "Are those what are? I think those are." I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah, they are.
uh-huh." And he was just like,
Nice.
"Oh,"
I
and
said, "Oh
I'd be
my
there
God!"
doing this, and
I
I
said,
was just like, "Yeah."
I said,
And a lot of the grooms, when they would go over, because they would win something if they got it in the hole, in if they got in the corn in the
in the
hole.
hole, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So, and of course, they all kind of sat and touched it and all this other stuff. And then Brian was like, "Well, I should
I
go
mean,
over
that's the
there." And
whole
I'm like,
point, though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We call them fun bags for a reason.
Exactly. Imagine these on your girl. Ooh,
Yeah.
they were tossing titties. How about that?
but, but having the conversation in besides that, but also the other vendors there, you have cosmetic augmentation,
There were
Botox,
teeth
teeth
whitening,
whitening.
teeth straightening.
Mhm.
It was just so many different things they had to do with getting your appearance up before you hit that big day and stuff like that. It was just different vendors that, I mean, the caterers that made sense to me, the travel agents that made sense to me, the Mary Kay lady that made sense to me. All
So
the
who
different
was there that wasn't that didn't match the event?
Well, the thing is that I guess in some ways how we open the show again about how certain things bleed into others. I guess that there's a niche for everybody. I mean, things that you would not normally think at first about if you say, okay, vendors you would expect to see at a bridal expo, go, and you start writing that list, you would come up with some of the more obvious ones. But then there's some other ones where you go, yeah, you really think about that. I guess, financial planning was right next
Mhm.
to us. So, maybe people talking about getting policies together and things like that totally makes
Mhm.
sense. Or even just, hey, you've got your assets, you're bringing it together with somebody else. How do y'all want to put these things together? All those kind of things that maybe you don't necessarily think about because everybody's thinking about the tux. So David's Bridal is there, Men's Warehouse was there, all of those types of things. You're thinking about those types of things. But as far as, and I always tell couples,
Mhm.
the day of your wedding is a great day and everything else. But please, please, please don't forget there are a lot of gruesome days after that. So
Yeah.
you definitely want to think about the long game instead of just the short game, which is this whole production that you do for the bride called a wedding. Because it's not for the
Mhm.
groom, let's be honest.
No, no.
I
Weddings
mean,
are strictly for the bride.
the brides. I mean, hell,
That
look at
is
the groom.
strictly for the
Look
bride.
at the groom cake. How big is the groom cake versus the whole wedding cake?
In some case, look, I didn't even know there was anything. I put it like this, and truth bomb here or honesty bomb here. I didn't even know there was a cake for a groom.
Well, I think
I
they
didn't
threw,
even know.
I think they threw it in at some point. I think they threw it in at some point. But yeah, the whole thing about a wedding is it is a production for the bride because she read too many of them damn Cinderella fairy tale books and she want to be that damn woman.
Of
So
course.
Yeah, and
You gotta sell the dream. You got to sell the dream.
they gotta have a fairy tale and all of
Yeah.
that stuff. So that's okay, I guess. We just
It's
show
okay to
up.
dream. It's okay to dream.
We just the dudes are just responsible for showing up, being on time, and not making it look utterly ridiculous. That's it.
I'm here.
Yeah, I made it. Because the whole time she got her vultures. I mean, her bridesmaids.
Yeah, I know, right?
Sure did. Yeah, he made it.
Don't be scrunching your face up, sis. You know he talking truth. You know he talking truth. Stop that. Now you may be the exception to the rule. You know what? See, I have to talk to you like I have to talk to you like I talk to Cat. Listen, just because y'all are very rare women, okay? But I watch your face, sis, and your face say a lot.
And you know what? She shouldn't even look like that because she watches all these ratchet TV shows where these women be on there doing the most all of the time, getting in their faces, all this drama, and they watch it to see this drama unfold.
Yeah, they do.
Consume this drama. I'm like, why would you watch this? That is the most toxic shit.
It is.
Why are you watching this?
It's fuel. It's fuel.
and then talking about fake titties, oh my God. Oh man, they got all the lifts, they got all the apparatuses on to push them bad boys up. And
listen, if they got the money to do it and it looks good, fine. God bless you. Listen, you gotta maintain it. You gotta maintain it.
You watching that stuff, they always arguing about the dumbest stuff. I'm like, Lord, and I know they're doing it for the cameras and stuff like that, but my God. But the fact that people will sit down and commit a certain part of their life to watching that stuff, always amazing. It's not, and you know, because in the old days when it first started, it was reality TV. Whether you know, it started with Survivor, you know, which was really crazy, and then they started moving it to having a bunch of rando people all in the same house. Then it ran into The Bachelor and all the drama behind who was going to get the rose, all that kind of stuff. Then it became Real Housewives of this, and then Real Housewives of that. And, you know, first they were in Beverly Hills and all these glamorous places, and then they moved them down to Huntsville, Alabama. You know, there's some real things in Huntsville, Alabama. Mostly dirt. But there's a whole lot of real down in Alabama, racist. But there's a whole lot of real in Alabama.
But say that again.
So you know, but it's just funny how they just market this stuff. But you know, there's an audience for everything, and a lot of these things are just grown and grown and grown. But what they realize is that, and I know you talked about this before, CJ, is clickbait. So they do a lot of this stuff because it draws eyeballs and more people talk about it. Parts of the show will go viral. You'll see it on Reels, on even in your Facebook feeds and things like that. And you'll click on it and you'll go, oh man, even Cardi B, when you think about Cardi started in Love and Hip Hop. And you know, that's when I first knew who Cardi B was. And when I saw on Love and Hip Hop, the few episodes that I did see, it never dawned on me that she was going to be really anything serious. Now this woman is worth a whole lot of money. So,
millions and millions.
Yeah, oh my gosh. But to be honest, if she didn't rap, she could have been a comedian. She is absolutely hilarious.
Yes, she's funny.
I don't know. People really give Cardi credit for how hilarious.
She's really funny. Yeah,
it really is. And she be real about it most of the time. Which she a lot of times she don't try to be funny.
That's what makes it funny, right? Exactly.
When they just naturally funny, they ain't even trying to be. She just being herself, and then being herself is just like, oh my God, she's hilarious. Absolutely funny. But Laura, you keep watching your ratchet shows. It helps with their ratings. Them same people that watch them ratchet shows, hey, come on over to Head to Head. You know, if I need to sit there and cuss at Lori and CJ for about 20, 30 minutes and get into it with them about who left their drawers on the floor, I can definitely do that.
Oh no, you have your own show.
I know you ain't leaving them drawers on the floor with them damn stains in them. Oh no! Oh, hold on a second. Oh
Again,
Ah,
you can have your own show, or you claim, or the one you want to have
Let
after dark,
me get some
whatever you
oil.
want to sit there and
Oil and
do.
grease these titties up.
oh my gosh, that's funny. Hold on, wait a minute. that was funny.
No, when
That
you
was
did that, that
yeah.
just reminds me of before we got married.
Oh,
Brian's bad, bad, bad. That's
When your friends up in New York said, "Oh, we got to at least take him to a strip club and send him off before y'all go to Vegas." So they take me to some bootleg go-go club in New Jersey where there's no clothes come off. They just sit there and squeeze them and stuff in front of you, and they look like they're like MILFs are one thing, but these were gilfs, man. These were like grandmothers and stuff, but they were old as hell, man. I'm like, damn. Now, I don't know if they were really gills, but unfortunately, not all diasporas age the same way. Black don't crack, but a whole lot of other ones do. So
oh
she
yeah.
could have legitimately been under 40 and just had all them damn wrinkles on. But in any event, with no clothes coming off, she just had on some big ass go-go boots and just walked up to me, squeezing them, talking about, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm sitting there like, by the looks of it, I'm doing a lot better than you are. Shit.
First of all, if you have to do okay, never mind.
Thank you.
Let's just
Thank you.
well,
Yeah. Hey, CJ.
What's up?
When she did that, that was the closest they've been together for a long time.
Right. I miss you, girl. No, it's kidding. Go.
Oh, I missed you.
No.
What happened to you?
but regardless of that whole situation, Brian was very gracious, and he just kind of went with it.
It was a thought that counted, but
yes,
I would have thought that you would have took me to a real strip club where I would have seen some minutes, So I got a no. Even my lips ain't that big.
We ain't gonna take you down. We ain't gonna take you down to Chocolate City. No.
Hey, y'all could have just went ahead and took me down to Candace's.
Candy's Cabaret. Lunchtime. I don't know nothing about that.
Of course not.
I'm sorry. Good.
do yes you do.
Pilot gas station.
By the pilot, you know it.
Oh yeah, where you have to go get gas. I get it.
I had to take I-85.
Right. To get
Because,
that at that pilot
77
station.
was backed up real bad, and it's only 2 ways to get around Charlotte. Right? So
yeah, we had to stop at the pilot. Exactly.
And hit Statesville.
Yeah, might as well.
I was hungry. It was lunchtime.
Yep. Couldn't make it to the quick trip, so had to going down there.
Ain't no quick trips around there.
Yeah, it's all the way down at Graham, at the Graham in Statesville, so it's on the other end. But yeah,
way down there.
Way down. Yeah. We keep it real. Over there by JT Williams. My old yeah.
Too far to go. Too far to go.
Exactly. It's all good, Laura. It's all good. VIP out here is really
absolutely.
Banging.
Absolutely.
Oh absolutely. So, Lori, it is the start of baseball season, so I know you're excited about that because I know you're a big Yankees fan. Not. Lori grew up as a Dodgers fan, right, Lori?
Yes. I grew up as a Dodger fan.
Now, were they in Brooklyn then, or had they already left?
They left way before that. But yes. But prior to that, but as a Dodger fan, but if I was rooting for the as a New York team, I always went with the National League, and I rooted for the Mets. I know. So when I got married, Brian is a very diehard American League Yankees fan. So the good wife that I am.
Now, I think it's interesting because I think the only reason that you were a National League fan is because your dad is a National League fan because he hates the DH.
Yes.
Baseball.
That was drummed into my head my entire life. But
And American League has DHs. Yeah.
right. But we would go to games and do stuff like that. So as I said, I would, and then marrying Brian, who liked to go to actually baseball games and not just watch it on TV. So it was a good thing.
I mean, again, when you
It's
think of
it's a difference.
New York baseball, what's the first team that comes to your mind?
The Yankees.
You know,
Of
it's kind of
course.
it's like
But
when
see,
I say to somebody outside the state of North Carolina, when you say Carolina, who are you thinking about? Because I have this conversation with South Carolina fans all the time down in Columbia that they say Carolina and they think everybody thinks that that's USC. And which is crazy because even when you think USC, you don't think South Carolina, you think Southern Cal. And they
mhm.
have this big identity crisis because they think that they're really Carolina. They think that when people refer to Carolina, they think they mean the Gamecocks. And I'm like, no, 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 no. You're sadly mistaken.
No,
You're sadly
no.
when people outside of North Carolina say, "Oh, where you going? Carolina." Oh, them Tar Heels.
Tar Heels. That's the first thing that come out your mouth.
First thing. So when you say I'm going to New York, watch some baseball, hell, if you mean the Mets, you better say I'm going to watch the Mets because otherwise
Yeah.
people will assume
The
you're talking about
Sox,
the Yankees.
the Sox, whether it's red or white.
Yep.
What's the other one? Well, you just said Mets. It's another team up that hell, it's a lot of teams up there, but yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like the first thing that I think of is Yankees. That's
Well,
the first
yes,
thing that pops up in my head.
absolutely. But I'm just going to say, as a Brooklyn girl, and Brooklyn and the Mets and were in Queens. So if I had to go identify by close proximity, I'm going to go with the Mets. But I've enjoyed many, many, many a Yankees games. So
You're
Mhm.
welcome.
And you know what? And honestly, guys, I'm not even. I don't even consider myself a fan of baseball. I'm an appreciator
hmm
because talking to real fans around the world, I've come to learn that there's a big difference between being a fan of something and an appreciator of the sport.
That's a great point. And I think they get kind of conflated together a lot of times when they're not really the same. And neither is a bad thing. It's just okay, know which one you really are because there's some diehard fans out there. So if you walk in and you say, "Hey, I'm a fan," and then you get a real fan and they start trying to talk to you, and then they realize real quick, well, damn, wait a minute, you just root for this
Yeah,
team?
you just said you was a fan,
Team. Yeah,
right?
you get a lot of those, especially around March Madness when everybody's filling out brackets and stuff like that. Man, I've seen people fill out brackets because they like the colors that the teams have.
Of
They don't
course.
know a damn thing else about the team other than what colors they wear and stuff like. Oh, I like that. That's a nice color. I'm gonna put them in.
But see, I mean, but that's honestly though, Brian. I mean, think about how when you and I were kids coming up, that was the first thing you saw. You like,
Right.
I mean, that's how we picked our teams or whatnot.
That's true.
It was the symbolism. It was whatever that symbol was, the color
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. Then you start to pay attention to what was really
Right.
going on with the
Right.
team and if that team had good players. And I'm talking all sports, all
Mhm.
sports.
Yeah.
Because that's what grabbed your attention. And then especially if you were younger, you were trying to play that sport, and then you happen to have a role model, so to speak, of that sport to kind of like pattern out. Because like with me, Carl Lewis in track and field, I
Mm.
wanted to be just like him, nowhere near his height, but I wanted to be Carl Lewis. I wanted the long jump. I wanted to come out the box and run as fast, all that stuff. But I mean, that's how we all get started. We all get started
and
with
yet,
just those little symbolisms, whether it's
and
color or symbol.
in addition to from my dad, but also my grandfather, who when he was alive, he was a diehard Atlanta Braves fan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I almost
And the
forgot
whole
about
thing
that.
is when
Mhm.
because when he was living, he lived in West Virginia. So obviously being down here in the South, the baseball team that was here was Atlanta, and
Atlanta.
then those were
Yeah.
the games that you were able to get. So
Yeah.
there were a lot of times that I would, when I went to visit, I'd be watching the Braves play
Mhm.
or something like that. So
Well, yeah, and I remember that too. As much of a Yankee fan as I was, kind of to CJ's point, I was an appreciator of the Braves, just because of their proximity to
Right.
the area and
Mhm.
everything.
Mhm.
And you know, a lot of this too was because we really didn't have anything locally here in the North Carolina market. When the Charlotte Knights kind of came to in existence, it was hard to kind of get behind them at the time because they had the name Charlotte Knights, but all the games were played in Fort Mill,
Somewhat.
South Carolina,
Yeah.
uh, which wasn't really that far. It just seemed like it was in the old days. Fort Mill was a lot farther than it is now, and a lot of that
Right.
Charlotte's city limits have uh, pushed all the way up against the South Carolina line, where before it didn't. It really stopped when you got to
Carowinds.
yeah, or a little bit right before Carowinds actually. But
Mhm.
that part of Charlotte just didn't really push there. But it does now, so it doesn't seem that far away. Now the Charlotte Knights have a downtown arena. They get a lot of attendance and things like that. We have the Kannapolis Cannonballers up here near us, who built a very impressive ballpark for a AAA team. Um,
Mhm.
and we've been to a Cannonballers game. I know I said last year, Lori, I want to catch another one. Definitely do. It was definitely a good time. It wasn't a Knights game, but it was really easy to get to. Very nice seats, um, and it was a very competitive game too. It was some really really good baseball. So it was definitely good. And then when we go to New York, from time to time, if possible, I do like to excuse me, go up and catch a Yankees game and stuff
Mhm.
like that. So we'll be looking to do that in the next month or two when we head up to New York um, for a week or so, just to kind of visit and whatnot. But definitely want to be able to do that. Now, I did take Lori to a Mets game while I was there. The only regret I have was it was opening weekend. Opening weekend in New York is basically the last few days of March into the first day of April. And the problem is in New York, you don't know what the weather is going to be like. And
Mm.
it was cold as hell and windy as hell. And we made it
Mm.
to the seventh inning. I don't know how many cups of hot chocolate I consumed. I couldn't even drink my beer because it was so cold. Um, I had to sit the beer down and go get hot chocolate, and I was mad because them beers ain't cheap. So it was just that cold. I wanted to sit out there for her. I know she, appreciated the Mets and everything, and I wanted her to have her time, even though that is not the easiest place to get to on the train when you live in Brooklyn, because you got to go first into Manhattan and then double back to Queens to catch the right train that take you back into Queens. There was no train that would take you from Manhattan to their ballpark in Queens. You had to ride into Manhattan from Brooklyn and then go back into Queens. Am I telling that right, Lori?
yeah, the route that we did, because then we would have to do a whole bunch of switching, but we
Right,
still did
right,
a lot of switching.
right. But well, once we got on that train in Manhattan, it was a lot easier. But the fact we had to go through all of that. So anyway,
Wow.
we got there, and anybody that knows City Field is right next to LaGuardia Airport. So it's a very, very nice backdrop with the planes kind of because they land right over City Field. So as you're playing a
Wow.
baseball game, you see these big ass planes flying right over you as they're on their approach into LaGuardia and stuff like that. So it's pretty funny. But yeah, it's crazy. But I love it. I love the atmosphere. I'm one of those baseball fans though that I like to actually be at the game. I'm not gonna sit there and watch the game on TV.
TV.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't I can't watch it. It's unwatchable
Yeah.
for me. There's some people that can just sit there. I just can't commit that kind of time into watching the game, the commercials, and this and that and the other. Now, if I'm there and they've got stuff going on in the stadium to entertain you and stuff like that, I can certainly
That's
do that.
different. Yeah.
Different. It's the whole experience that you're paying for. But on TV, all you're really doing is I want to see, the game, and there's so much pockets, dead spots in TV that it's really hard for me to really watch it like that. Kind of the same thing with an NBA game. If I go to the Spectrum Center and watch the Hornets, even if I know they're going to lose, I can watch the game from start to finish and be engaged the whole time. If I try to watch it on TV and they down 20 points, I'm walking the hell away. I'll catch the score in the morning. Wake me up when this ass whooping is over. I'm done. So it's just different. It really is. Live is definitely better a lot of times. So that's how I go with my sports. So glad to see baseball coming back. Of course, we already know as a foregone conclusion, Lori, that the Yankees will be going to the World Series this year. Lori, it's our year, right?
Of course.
I'm just saying. Aaron Judge is going to hit like 95 home runs. So just, keep that in mind.
It's day one.
Hey, maybe this time we can sit in Judge's section. They have the Judge's court over at Yankee Stadium. When he hits a home run, all rise. Everybody rises up when the Judge hits. It's hilarious. It's hilarious over there. So yeah. But anyway, awesome. So let's turn into, before we go back, we talk about betting. Let's talk about your favorite your favorite narcissist, Lori, and that would be one Donald J. Trump. I don't know, and I wanted to talk about his appeal that he somewhat won. If folks don't know, Donald Trump had a civil trial brought forth by Attorney General Letitia James, and part of the judgment had already been awarded before they stepped foot in court, because Judge Engeron in New York's New York Supreme Court Division had already said that there was enough evidence of persistent fraud within the Trump Foundation. There were other charges of intent that Letitia James wanted to be considered, and because the Trump team did not ask for a jury trial, that made the judge the trier of facts. And it's a little bit different because with a jury trial, there's certain things that you can and cannot be put into evidence, put in front of a jury, and things like that, where Judge Engeron kind of let those things slide because you didn't have to worry about a jury being tainted by certain things. So he was a little bit more flexible with some of the things that they were saying and doing, where if it had been a jury trial, more than likely, many of times he would have asked the jury to leave the courtroom and would have laid into Trump's team for a lot of the foolishness that they were bringing forth. But still and yet, all the evidence was produced. Donald Trump did testify. He was made to testify when Letitia James's team called him to the stand. Eric Trump, so did Donald Trump Jr. They had already had the depositions from Alan Weisselberg, who was the chief financial officer at the time, and some other people. It was kind of interesting, though, that Alina Habba, Trump's attorneys, kept saying that, he's not being given a chance to speak. They're muffling his words. They're trying to silence him. They're placing gag orders and things like that. Well, okay, but you are an attorney, and Letitia James brought him up for her cross. You had the opportunity to bring him up to direct examination. When if he's your client, or if he's for your side, that's direct. When it's the other side, it's cross. She brought him up for cross, questioned him. He tried to turn every answer into a political speech and things like that, and wouldn't stay on topic, and basically filibuster every question that was asked. But they would go outside of the courtroom and complain that he's not being allowed to say what he wants to say, when, hey, all you had to do was do a direct examination and ask him an open-ended question and just let it fly until the judge said, okay, I think we've had enough, or would say, okay, counsel, move on. That all of that could have happened. It was kind of interesting that Donald Trump Jr., Eric Trump, nor Donald Trump himself got on the stand for direct. And the reason that they didn't get on the stand for direct, y'all, is quite honest. Once you get on the stand for direct, you open yourself up for recross. So then, after Haba would have said, "Okay, I have no further questions," the judge would have said, "Okay, Miss James's team, do you have anything to recross?" And then that could have, because they could have opened up a whole can of worms in addition to that. Well, even without opening up the whole can of worms, there was a judgment put in place of $454 million.
Mm-hmm.
Now that includes interest on a lot of this fraud and everything else that was found. All of these dollar amounts were based on the issues that they could bring that still fell within the statute of limitations. In a civil judgment, uh, the uh, wronged the party that is being filed against has the ability to appeal, but in the state of New York, in order to file your appeal or for your appeal to stay the judgment, you can file an appeal. But if you want the judgment to be stayed, and all a stay means is that the judgment cannot be currently pursued against you. You have
Mm-hmm.
to put up a cash bond. You have to put up the cash, or you have to put up a bond. Now, he had 30 days to put up either. The 30 days expired this past Monday, where he had to show up, and he was having a hard time apparently getting any bonding company
Mm-hmm.
to say, okay, we'll vouch that he's good for it. Most bonding companies, as you know, if you've ever been in the criminal system, you may have a $100,000 bond, but all a bonding company has to do is put up 15% to basically say that you're good for it. You don't have to put up the whole $100,000. Now you can bail yourself out if you have $100,000, or you
Mm-hmm.
go to a bonding company and give them 15%, and they basically go to the jail and they bail you out with that 15%, saying, you know what, he's good for it. But what did you give up in addition to that 15%? Did you put your mama's house as collateral? You know, what did you put in addition to that? So when you think about it this way, Trump had to do the exact same thing. Well,
Mm-hmm.
he didn't have the cash to just float $454 million, even though he says he does. Um, all he had to do was come up with an extraordinary amount of cash and
Mm-hmm.
put up other assets that would satisfy the total price. The problem is when you start dealing with real estate, um, put some respect on my guy Trump. He's not P. Diddy running away. Ain't no ever no respect on no Trump.
Ain't nobody putting on no. You man, you gonna make me cuss? All right, go ahead. Go
but
ahead.
but anyway, anyway, he could not come up with that. He kept crying to the judge that I don't, that's a lot to ask. It's never been done before. And if he sit there and Google, there have actually been bonds in the billions of dollars that have been put up before. The problem is that your particular civil suit is from the point that your word is crap. You overinflate your assets. So how do I know that this asset that you're giving me as part of your bond is as valuable as you say it is? And
Mm-hmm.
in a lot of these assets, they need to be free and clear of any encumbrances. And
There you go.
encumbrances could be anything from, do you have mortgages on this? Do you outright own the asset? Are there other owners of assets? When they start looking at that, then that can go into it. When people look at 40 Wall Street, he doesn't own 40 Wall Street. He owns
Yes,
the
yes.
land, not the building.
Right, right.
When you look at Trump Tower, he has a naming rights on the building. He owns the penthouse within Trump Tower. So a lot of times when people see his name on stuff, it's naming rights. It's not that he flat out owns stuff. So
Right, right.
a lot of these things that they're looking at these assets to see what is it that he really owns and how much of that can we get liquid really, really quick if he defaults. If he just, because here's the thing, any bonding company that put up that $454 million, if and when he loses his appeal, the state of New York goes after the bonding company to make the citizens of New York whole. They don't have to go after Trump anymore.
Right.
Now the bonding company has to go after Trump if he doesn't fulfill his duties. Anthony says he don't even own the Trump Hotel in Vegas, right? Just the naming right. Nope. So a lot of times he would slap his name on stuff. And Trump is good for branding. He'll slap his name on anything because he believes in the brand. Go ahead, CJ.
Now I'm just saying, like, that's the part that I can't really wrap my head around right now. Like, we're in what year? 2024.
Yep.
Okay. He started throwing his name around the ring whenever Obama was in office. Number one, how did with nobody, and especially in our community, how did you not see this crap coming? True. By him getting the reputation that he has as being a businessman. If you talk about anybody that has had some success in business, and if they was to sit down and be honest with you as to how they got to the point of where they are, the reason why they stop advising you, especially like on a public platform, as to the reason how they got or how they became so successful, is because whenever you start to break down their strategy of how they got that way, a lot of it is due to what Trump admitted to a long time ago in his one of his videos when he says, "I am the king of debt."
Yeah.
Well, what does that say to you? See, I don't understand how things like that get past our people. I mean, we hear it. I mean, this is like the teacher giving you the answer, but you still failing the test.
Well,
Like, and he's all about show. He's always been about show. You know, and
think about it. We opened up the show, and I was talking about Real Housewives, how that came out of reality TV, and people being engaged and invested in watching these basically fake people display things in front of us, and we buy into it. That's all branding. It's all persona building and things like that. So it's not that surprising because for a lot of people, they think they know you because they see you on TV. I have a connection with you. You're that person. So I can identify with you, even though that person may be totally different than the person you really know. People may even talk about, and I don't want to stray too far away, but when they talk about how the things going on with Diddy right now, Diddy was a face. Diddy was the guy with the puffy lips and always dancing in videos of all of his rappers and singers and stuff like that. So there's one image there, and everybody latches on to that image. Now there's another image being projected. Now people don't know what to think because it totally clashes with the image that they've always known forever. Trump did a really, really good job of promoting himself. For everything that Trump isn't, he is a master brander in the fact that he can get people to believe that he's so rich. I mean, think about it. Think about it this way. If you were really the multi-billionaire that you claim to be, $454 million, while that does sting a little bit, you should be able to fork that out. If I asked Mark Cuban, hey, Mark, can you post a $454 million bond? He would laugh and sign the check. Right. If you asked Elon Musk, hey, Elon, can you sit there and get a $454 million bond? He would laugh and sign the check. If you ask Jeff Bezos that, he could do the same thing. Those guys can be very liquid very, very soon. Well, even if they have to cash out some of their stocks and things like that, because that's where a lot of their wealth is tied up. Right, Trump has wealth in what he calls his brands and his properties and things like that. But if you overvalue your properties, you overvalue your worth. And that's what he's done. And he's played this three-card money for so long that is finally catching up with him where, hey, you running out of moves because everybody know where the marble really is now. So
and your hands don't move that quick.
Yeah, your hands ain't moving as fast anymore. Now people have caught up to your game, and now they know that the reality is starting to clash against what you projected for so long. And now everybody realizes that the emperor truly has no clothes.
Right.
So that's what's going on. Yeah, so on Monday, the appellate division swooped in and said, you know what, Trump, we're going to make it easy on you. We're going to give you 10 more days to pay, and we're going to drop it down to 175. It doesn't take away the $454 million judgment, but what they're saying is that if you can post a bond, and now let's talk about how extraordinary this is. That don't happen to nobody else. That don't happen.
Man, we keep okay. See, there lies my problem.
Yep.
In there lies my issue.
Mm-hmm.
We keep giving this mother sucker all kinds of leeway. The justice system is never holding this joker's feet to the fire like how they would do anybody else. I'm not even making this a black and white thing anymore.
No, it's not.
This is about the haves and the have-nots.
Hello.
Period. And I am sick to death of hearing all these freaking outs. Cause like how you prefaced it, like this is crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Where's all this leeway? Where's all this leeway for anybody else?
It's not.
Now, the only truth that I hear you say,
I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
The only truth I hear you ever say, even on the right hand side, it's a two-tier justice system. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, it is.
It really no. Follow my head. Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's being played out right in front of you.
Yeah. The
way
they're trying to sell it is different, but they're right. They're like, there's one set of rules for Trump and there's one set of rules for everybody else. You goddamn right there.
We know that.
Absolutely.
That is the truth.
Bingo.
That is the truth.
But not the way that they mean it. But it
exactly.
Sure is. Yeah.
And the whole thing about it is, whenever you're not held accountable, the reality it ends up blurring the lines to where even for the people that are sitting on the fence, they don't know what to believe still, because they're like, well, if he's truly guilty of something, or if they have a solid case, then the justice system wouldn't give him all this leeway and all this other stuff. And people forget the type of base that he has and the influence that he has over the type of base that he has. They are already radicalized. So we're not even going to say he can radicalize them. They are already radicalized, and he could turn them on and off just by certain dog whistles. And that's what has the people in the justice system so shook, is because all he has to do is say, well, this crooked Joe Biden system and all these Democrats and and he starts saying that, and then people start perking up and they're like, we going to war.
Yeah.
Cause America ready to kick in there.
You know what's funny, CJ, is that they made this decision.
Exactly.
they made this decision after this fool went on his Truth Social post and started bragging about the fact that he had over $500 million in cash, and that he just didn't want to give it all up because he was going to put the money into his campaign.
I'm sorry.
He
said that. Not them. He said that.
He said it. Even though his lawyer said no, he really doesn't. Then he posts, "Oh yeah, I do." He says, "But I just don't want to give it up because."
What's my girl? She put him out there all the time. My girl with the short hair. No,
on
Rachel
Maddow.
No, on the Fox 5. She calls out they bull
crap
all the time.
Karloff. Yeah.
Yeah, Jessica. Yeah, that girl be on it.
She makes them look so stupid.
God, don't see.
It's 1 against 4.
And they still can't handle her.
And combined, they still can't handle that girl.
They still can't handle. But yeah, she called that out. She called them out on that like so many times, so many ways.
You can't defend
it. Like you can't. So in other words, like I'm with Jessica. Which lie do you want for me to follow?
Right. And
You
the
know,
problem,
either you have the money or you don't.
well, the problem is, how as an attorney do you defend your client when he basically contradicts everything you say?
Exactly.
So when they ask the lawyer certain things, they just sitting there like, well, hell, I don't know what answer to give you, because 5 minutes later, this dumb some bitch gonna go on X
Exactly.
social and say
Uh-huh.
something totally contradictory.
Exactly. And then on top of that, you see how they allowed your girl Haba to go on this extravagant vacation. Listen, it's so many ways to look at this so it ain't funny. Listen, I know that if you've already cost me millions of dollars and stuff and fees, fines, and whatever the penalties are for just not being a good lawyer, I would send you on vacation too. But you can also thank his base supporters, for even sending in money for that, because he got his daughter-in-law that sat up there and told you, hey, we every amount of money y'all give us, we're gonna put it right to Trump's campaign, to his lawyer fees and stuff.
That's the crazy part. That's the crazy part, CJ, because when he initially ran for president, again, he's the master manipulator. He told everybody, I'm so rich.
I don't need y'all money.
I don't need y'all money. I can finance my own campaign. Bro ain't put one stinking dollar from his bank account into his campaign. These people that can barely afford to buy gas, put food on the table, have supported his campaign and his legal defenses for years now, and they continue to do that from somebody that tries to brand himself as a self-made billionaire. Ask yourself the question, if the man is a self-made billionaire, why does he need my $5? Why does he need my $10? Why does he need to sit there and
because he's not a politician?
Why does he need to put on on the fundraising thing these check boxes that basically say that every month you can dig into my account without my knowledge and take even more money? Go ahead, Lori.
Damn!
Nice.
So it's kind of funny when one thing gets said, but you can't really see any fruit being bared from anything that he says. But people will sit there and believe it anyway, even though they can't square the two things together. If he's as rich as he says he is, why does he always sit there and grift off of you? He grifted off of steaks, went nowhere. He grifted off the water, went nowhere. He grifted off of mortgages, it went nowhere. He grifted off of an airline, it went nowhere. Now he grifted off some damn gold sneakers. He grifted off some trading cards, and now within the last day,
he's a Bible salesman
off of a $59.99 King James Version Bible that has the Pledge of Allegiance and the Constitution in it, which is one of the biggest oxymorons when you think about the separation of church and state.
And that's my issue. That is my issue.
And the fact that it's $60.
First of all, there is a separation of church and state. Two, you don't put that in the Bible. That's why they're separate.
I thought it was burst in the flames when you picked it up. I was waiting for it to just.
Edgar say, yeah, and I did see that real, like the way that he was holding. He did look like it was burning.
He looked so uncomfortable holding the Bible.
Yeah,
nobody holds Bibles like Trump holds Bibles.
And also adding on to that, because this is Holy Week.
Yeah.
And this is the most important week as we get up to Easter.
Yeah,
and for him to be hawking a $59.95.
Well, that's why they did it. That's why they did it. Because
I know that's why he did it, but I'm just like, it's just appalling.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. I mean, now for all of these Bible believers and everything else, this would be the very definition of, come in closer, blasphemy. It's okay to say that this time, okay?
Well, you know what makes it even blasphemous? He does it against the backdrop of on April 15th, the jury selection is gonna start in the Alvin Bragg case about him covering up hush money that he paid a porn star while his wife had just given birth to Barron. So
he's saved now, so we ain't got to talk about that.
He's talking the Bible against the backdrop of adultery.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
crazy. And the
Yeah,
and the crazy part is people are going to see this ad. And have y'all ever noticed when Trump does a read of anything he's talking, he, he sounds like a hostage. He reads, he reads like he ain't never seen words before. And I believe if you get this, Bob, like he has special needs almost.
bro, I'm telling you.
And I think he does. And
Well,
people
see,
kind of
that's why
lost
he
it.
don't.
He
I think
reads,
he does have a problem reading. That's why he likes to go off the rip.
yeah,
Most people, I mean, and I'm not picking on. Well, I just say it like this because I'm not trying to gut punch nobody. But sometimes, sometimes when you have people that can really just go off the rip really good, they really do have some issue either whether they're dyslexic or just
right,
lacking in
right.
education.
There's a
They're
reason
not
they don't
good
like
readers.
right. Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Yeah.
not. So I'm not gonna take any shots. I almost did, but
No, I mean, but there's some
He could
people
be
that
he could have been diagnosed or something, or maybe that's
you know,
something, but he
and you know
doesn't
what? It's
acknowledge it.
you know what? Yeah, and you know what society would have done? Embraced them.
yeah, yeah,
They would have embraced them.
If he had gotten the proper care and everything, if that with that diagnosis, but
Hmm.
that's why he just looks
well,
crazy and
but see,
weird.
a diagnosis like that for him is a sign of weakness, and he would never admit to that.
There
He,
you
Of course
go.
not. Of course.
But
Of
but
course.
see,
He would never do
and
it.
right, and that segue right into what I was really alluding to,
yeah,
because anything outside of this whole false bravado of being, alpha male and macho and highly successful, and I can do no wrong, and I will never admit defeat in anything. That is the truest definition of narcissism.
yeah.
Period.
Even when you look at him being around military veterans that have lost limbs and things like that, and he would always say to the generals, "Hey, why you have that around me? I don't want that around me." Because it to him when he thinks military should be strong and always show strength and everything else, and when you see a
Mhm.
serviceman that gave up the ultimate sacrifice and put their life and their body on the line and they come back with missing legs and arms and things like that. He sees that as a weakness. That's why he called the ones that died losers and suckers. He sees that as a weakness. So he doesn't want that to be attributed to him to be somebody other than this strong man that he wants to portray to everybody. So a lot of it is, again, how he wants to project because projection is branding for him.
Mhm.
And he doesn't want to brand himself that way. That's why he criticized John McCain, even though people would say he's a war hero no matter what side of the politics you fall with John McCain. You can't take away the fact that he was a war hero and a POW, but him being a POW in Trump's mind made him weak and
Right.
discarded anything about him being a war hero. So he has his way of looking at people being strong and weak and things like that. So, I mean, but the word that you use quite fittingly is narcissist.
Yes, sir.
So that's where we are with the trial. He does only have now 1 week to come up with the $175 million. Now, keep in mind, whether or not, if he doesn't come up with the $175 million, Letitia James has already started putting liens on properties, particularly in Westchester County, where he has the golf course and he has the Seven Oaks estate. So she is really, really serious about getting her money. Even if he does find a way to come up with 175 million, the appellate division did not put any stay on any of the other decisions, meaning that the financial monitor that was put in place to oversee the coming and going of money into the Trump Foundation, Trump organization, rather, she is still in place. Judge Barbara Jones will be there for at least another 2 to 3 years,
Mm.
watching over things to make sure no funny business happens. So that'll be going on. Once the appeal, whether or not he puts up the money, will still be in effect. It'll just be whether Letitia James starts collecting next Thursday
Mhm.
or after the judgment is made. The appeals court is set to hear oral arguments for this case sometime in September, right before the election. Depending on how long those oral arguments take for the appeal, he's most likely to fail this appeal. And the money will probably come due within about a month or so. They won't take a long time to render judgment. So we will still know before the election if he is 454. Now, here's the other thing: it's $454 million. Now, he incurs approximately $90,000 a day in interest, and him placing the stay does not stop the clock on the interest.
Now that's interesting.
That's a long time of interest between now and September. 90 grand,
Cool.
90 grand a day. Do the math. Do the math.
Mm.
Yeah,
Good
what's that?
God Almighty.
About $2.7 million a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a lot more than what's under my seat cushions. But hey, you know,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's crazy because he knows he's going to lose this. He can't win this.
Yeah.
But his whole thing is delay, and there's no delay tactic. Yeah, he keeps getting all of these deals handed out by the courts and stuff. But even if they end up reducing what he owes, so say for instance it gets down to the 454 in September, and they say, you know what, we think Judge and Goron ran this up a little bit. We want to knock it down to say 300 million. Okay, he doesn't have that in cash, y'all. He's
Mm-hmm.
going to have to end up selling some stuff. So it is going to hurt him whether it's 454 plus interest or whether it's 300 million plus interest. It's still going to hurt him. And keep in mind, just as a teaser on the plate, it was ruled a month or two ago from a DC court that there's some litigants trying to sue Trump, and these would be people that were involved in the January 6th riot, whether it was Congressman Eric Swalwell, along with Capitol Police officers that are also filing civil cases against Trump too for being liable.
Liable.
Happened
Yeah.
on that day, and
Forget about that.
remember, with liability, there's physical damages, but then there are also punitive damages that could make this 454 million judgment look like a $20 bill on the ground.
Please believe that.
So he is not out of the clear by any means necessary. There's a lot more hell, and trust this.
But you know what? Just like how they like to say on the five or whatever they call that crappy show, he wasn't criminally charged. He wasn't criminal. They love to spin off to that because they know, just like how you're just not talking about now, because civilly, when you are held liable, you're still being held accountable. And that's where the underdog, so to speak, that's where you get your justices. Yeah. That's where you get your justices. That's why people like Kyle Rittenhouse is still being dogged out and looked at side-eyed and so forth. Zimmerman the same way. Like he did the smartest thing. He went low, he stayed low, things like that. Why? Because you may beat your case in criminal court due to all the legalities and the loopholes and things like that, but trust and believe, on the back end, justice will prevail and it will come. Like how old people say, what don't come out in the wash will come out in the rinse.
Well, and the thing to remember too, court is court. Judgments are judgments. The difference is that criminal court is connected mostly to things that can affect your freedom, whether you're jailed, confined, and that kind of things. Civil is normally going to be more financial penalties and things like that. Yeah, those kind of judgments. The other thing is that criminal, to be able to take away your freedom, you have to be adjudicated without any reasonable doubt. So it takes all 12 jurors to come back and say, yes, we say without beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty. In a civil case, the bar is a lot lower. It goes by the preponderance of evidence, meaning that we think more likely than not that you committed this. So the bar that I have to reach in a civil case is totally different than the bar that I have to reach in a criminal case, where in a criminal case, I have to say without any reservation, we believe you did it. Where in a civil case, we have to say, it's more likely that you
More
probably
than likely, you did.
yeah. And so those are the really, really big differences with that. The other big difference is that again with civil cases, hey, there's physical damages. If it was a car accident and I had to go to the hospital and my medical bills equaled $100,000, those are the physical damages. But then there's pain and suffering. There's mental
Oh, yeah.
anguish. There's all these other things that you need to pay me to make me whole. That in a lot of states has no actual cap, where the jury a lot of times will say, okay, the actual damages were $100,000. We're going to give punitive damages 4 times that amount. So we're going to award $400,000 in punitive damages for a total of $500,000. That's how it normally works. When a jury stays within that 4 to 5 to 6 times amount, normally when it goes to appeal, it holds. It's only in those cases when you have a runaway jury, where they basically say, okay, $100,000 in physical damages, but shit, we're gonna give them $2 million in punitive. Whoa! And then on the field, they might bust it back down because they're gonna say we had a runaway jury that just basically saw red and they just said we're gonna get this some bitch however we want to, and things like that. But that's really the difference. So that's what's going on with Trump. We'll keep an eye on that. Switching to a new subject, we only got a couple minutes left, but I don't know how many of y'all have taken advantage of this, but something great has come to the state of North Carolina that will change your life.
Oh.
As of March the 11th, anybody in the state, and you've probably seen billboards, it's probably showing up in your feeds, whether you wanted to or not. DraftKings, FanDuel, Bet65, you name it, $5.
You can legally gamble in the state of North Carolina.
Bet 5, get 250. It is here. It is on and popping. There is sports betting has become legal in the state of North Carolina. If y'all don't gamble, I understand.
I don't.
It is
Addictive.
I don't gamble either, but I do play a little bit. I ain't gonna lie to you. So people have asked, Brian, is it real? If I bet $5, do they really give me $250? The hell yes, they do. Because they want you to play around. They want you to kick the wheels and kick the tires. A lot of money. I read a stat on the first day, Lori, that over $11 million betted on in the state of North Carolina. Now, out of those $250, those are considered promotional bets. $12 million of those popped up in the first day for a total of $24 million wagered in the first day in North Carolina. They paid out $12 million in wins the first day.
Wow.
The first day.
And it's only going to go up.
It's because more and more people are going to hear about it. They're going to start, and they have these bonuses now. You refer a friend, we'll give you another $250.
Oh, hey, yeah. Yes. Because I've already been approached 3 times.
Hey, because you got people now going to their mama and saying, "Mama, what's your email address?"
Exactly. Because they already know what they're gonna do. They already know what they're gonna do.
Yeah, they're doing it on their mama's phone so they can get another $250.
Yeah. Look. Let's just say that is a very familiar situation.
Open stuff in your mama name.
I'm like, come on, y'all. No. Here we go.
So I will give my testimony. I probably won a couple $100 already. I ain't gonna lie to you. And some of these parlays are absolutely ridiculous. Like one parlay, I won $200 off of a parlay because the parlay was North Carolina and Duke will score a point in the game. I bet $50 that would happen, and I won $200 for that. I shit you not. I wish I could make this up.
Oh my God! Like you do know that's they have to play a game, right?
Right. It was a no-brainer, but I'm like, okay, I'd be a fool not to. And look, I would have bet a G.
I would have put my whole check on
it. But they put a $50 max cap on that. What I should have done was went in there about 4-5 more times and put $50 on there multiple times. But I got $200 off of one play that North Carolina and Duke would score a point in their game. A point.
Listen, man. Oh God, that's
And
oh wow.
the funny thing about these, you can bet on so many aspects of a game. If North Carolina and Duke play, you can bet on the total amount of points that are going to be scored between the two teams, whether you're going for
Mm-hmm.
the over or the under. If
Mm-hmm.
the point spread is North Carolina is going to win by 6.5, you can bet that they'll cover the spread, or you can bet that Duke will either lose by less than 6.5, or they'll outright win the game, and you can play by that. They'll have parlays in there that Armando Bacot is going to have 15 points and 10 rebounds, and you win if he gets it. They'll
Yeah.
provide legs and stuff like that. So there's so many different things. Or they'll be up by 6 points by the end of the first half.
Yeah.
There's parlays that'll come up, and the better the odds, meaning the more unlikely certain things are to
The
happen,
more you get paid.
the more you get paid.
Yeah.
So even if you put $5 on something that seems like it probably won't happen, if it does, you can cash out. Like if you put a bet on today that the Yankees are going to win the World Series, well, because the games haven't been played yet, you've got better odds that if you put up $5 or $10 now, oh, you're gonna see some money at the end of the rainbow if they win the World Series. Like I put up one early
Wow.
that Carolina was going to win the whole tournament, and I got a couple G's riding on that, and I only put up about
Yeah.
$10. So it's
Oh
worth it.
wow.
It's worth it to me. But I will say, y'all, gambling is real. Gambling is serious. You do need to be able to have a certain level of control. If you are that person that goes to a casino saying that I'm only going to put $500 into the slot machines and you walk out and you just spent your mortgage, you should not do this. If
Right.
you're that person that does have that control where you can basically say, this is what I'm going to spend at a casino, and you walk out doing just that or maybe slightly a little bit more, and you can control yourself, then by all means. Now, this does make it a little bit easier because it's in the palm of your hand. But if you do have a gambling problem or need help with gambling, please call the gambling helpline and gamble responsibly. We definitely want to make sure that people don't put themselves, their families, in precarious positions. There are sharks out there and things like that. That is real, and we want to make sure that people do it in a fun way. Never bet more than you're willing to lose is always my saying. So if you want to do it for fun and you happen to win a crap ton of money along the way, hey, that's a great thing. But if you end up at the end of the night, none of your bets turned in, and you're still able to sleep at night, not worrying about, damn, now how am I going to pay the light bill? Then you're okay. But if you end up with those kind of situations, then just push it away, step away, delete the apps, and do something else with your life. I would definitely say that.
Mhm. Good
But yeah, good times though. Good times. I got a couple of parlays in tonight, Lori. I got to check on because we are now in the Sweet 16 phase. And I would like to say congratulations to the Atlantic Coast Conference, who currently has 4 teams in the Sweet 16 after being devalued by the NCAA this year as far as the strength of the ACC conference. They happen to have more teams in the Sweet 16 than any other team, and 3 of those 4 are from the great state of North Carolina. Even though I don't like to acknowledge Duke, Duke is definitely in it, but I definitely got to give some credos to them feisty Wolfpack at NC State doing
Mhm.
their thing. Um,
Mhm.
they are our redheaded stepchild. They always
Literally.
they're the little brother of Carolina, and we normally just sit there and stomp on them and flick them away like a flea. But I will definitely give them huge credos because they are way further than anybody anticipated. So congratulations to them. But Carolina plays Alabama tonight, so uh, hoping for a nice dub off of that, Lord. Got a nice parlay on that. So Baycott, I know you're listening. I need that double double, buddy. I need it. Just gonna say that. Anyway, let's get ready to get the hell up out of here. Let's go ahead and get into it, Lori. You know what time it is. Oh, you thought we forgot? What I don't like is, Lori, go ahead and give it to me. I know you probably got some coworker issue, somebody at work done pissed you off, or driving to work, you done seen something. Go ahead and get it to me.
No, I'm I'm pretty good today.
All right. Pretty good. All right. No problem. CJ, anything you don't like?
This week, no, I'm kind of like my sister Laura. I'm pretty chill this week. I just hate the fact that I don't have my actual car because I was totaled. I was
Oh,
hit from the back, and I just don't have my own car. But that's it. Nothing I don't like this week.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Well, let me go ahead and get into what burns me.
Okay.
All right. Let me pull my folks off for just a minute. Okay. I don't know if you guys have heard over about a week ago or almost a week ago now, NBC News decided to do something that was utterly ridiculous and not well thought through. They decided to hire Ronna McDaniel as a paid contributor to NBC News. For those of you who don't know who Ronna McDaniel is, Ronna McDaniel, previously known as Ronna Romney McDaniel, was the head of the Republican National Committee, who recently was asked to step down and clear the way for Michael Watley from North Carolina and Donald Trump's daughter-in-law, Lara Trump, so that they could become more Trumpier and make the RNC more of a Trump committee. Ronna, for years, backed up everything that Donald Trump said and did, including the things that happened on January the 6th. She was even on phone calls with Michigan officials telling them not to certify the election, that they would even get lawyers for them. Her positions had always been flimsy at best, going back and forth, defending Trump or deflecting and things like that, basically gaslighting the media. But for some reason, NBC News thought it would be a good idea to pay her a $300,000 a year salary as a paid contributor. This was not met well with the host on MSNBC, who dug into that ass, and rightfully so. It started with Chuck Todd, formerly of Meet the Press, who was a guest on Meet the Press, which is now headed by Kristen Welker. And he basically laid into his bosses their short-sighted decision to add Ronna Romney McDaniel as a paid contributor, even though she had originally been booked on Meet the Press before she had gotten that position. It had already been announced right before the show aired that she was now a paid contributor. Being a paid contributor means that you are offering your thoughts and opinions, but you're being paid by a certain network to do so. So where did her loyalties lie when she made the comments that she made? Was it to make sure, as Chuck Todd put it, that she wasn't messing up her contract? Or was she giving her honest opinion? Well, it didn't stop there, because on Monday morning, once Morning Joe came on the air, Joe and Mika definitely made sure that it was to be understood that Ronna Romney McDaniel would never be on their show. Didn't stop there. In the afternoon, once Nicole Wallace came on, she dedicated well over half an hour into basically lambasting her bosses about their short-sighted decision. Once Ari Melber came on, same thing. Once Joy Reid came on, the same thing. Once Chris Hayes came on, the same thing. I'm sorry, it was Monday. Once Jen Psaki came on, same thing. Once Rachel Maddow came on, oh, Rachel went all in. And then finally, Lawrence O'Donnell came in at 10 o'clock and did the exact same thing. So all of these hosts cited their concerns. Now, don't get me wrong. We have seen plenty of times where folks leave one arena and go to another. MSNBC is no different. Jen Psaki was Joe Biden's press secretary. Simone Sanders was Bernie Sanders and Kamala Harris's communications person. We've seen plenty of people cross over into media shows and things like that, but never has somebody been so close to trying to overthrow an election that a network would hire them to be a paid contributor. Well, after all of the backlash, it's good to hear that NBC News has reversed course and decided not to proceed with Ronna Romney McDaniel as a paid contributor, but they will have to pay her out. And she may take them to court for breach. She even lost her contract with CAA agency, talent agency, once they lost that contract. So she even got dropped from her agency. So I'm sure this is not going to be the last that we hear of Ronna Romney McDaniel. But what really burns me is the media's short-sightedness of thinking that they always have to have both sides represented around the table. We don't need to hear from insurrectionists as to why they think they need to throw over this country. What we need to do is get out and vote and make sure that these people never, ever get close to power again. Well, that's what we got for this week, y'all. Let me thank my co-host again, Lori Parker, Mr. TNTBS CJ Jones. Thank y'all again for another week. We will do this again next week. Happy Easter to those that celebrate, Good Friday, all that good stuff. Or if you got to go to work, sorry about that. But we appreciate it. But y'all stay safe out there, and we will see y'all again next week. Peace.
This is ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta